I'll show you how it's done. Shazam!
All right, folks. Welcome to our channel here at Underdeveloped, and today we are reviewing a film that I've been waiting for the last few years. I've seen this film from the very inception. I goated casting decisions. Like I even messaged James Gunn on Instagram. I don't think they went through, but I begged him to cast. Ironically, not even a big character, but I really championed Wendell Pierce to be Perry White.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did. You went on that for years. I could attest to that.
Yeah,
he's not making that up.
Yeah, I thought Sean Gunn, Maxwell Lord would have been in this movie. That is what I'm spoiling now. This is the weekend has passed. You know, I mean, you should have saw it by now.
Yeah,
Sean Gunn, like those other reviews are like for more like press screening people that could see it before it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I mean that's what we know. Bradley Cooper's Jor-El.
Yeah. We know that Sean Gunn has like a blink and you miss a cameo in this movie. And that's
super. Yeah, I thought he had more role, especially since if you look at their suits, like Guy Gardner, the whole Justice Gang.
Yeah, they're all sponsored by.
Yeah, they're all sponsored by Lore Technology. It was like, what the fuck?
I think they're just teasing him for later.
Yeah, because I know he's in the he's in the Peacemaker season 2 clip.
Mm-hmm.
So
one eternity later,
that conflict was exactly Israel and fucking
it's
Palestine.
It's Israel, Palestine, it's Russia, Ukraine, it's all of them.
Even more so Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, given when this was written, I imagine he probably took more inspiration from Russia, Ukraine.
Yeah, if people talk politics about this movie, they should be talking about that.
Yeah, because
that's a glaring comparison.
Those are the actual political statements the movie's making.
Exactly, that's a glaring comparison.
Yeah, the immigrant stuff, I'm like, it's an immigrant story in the sense that Superman is literally an immigrant, but not so much outside of that.
That's literally it. There's nothing about his story about being an immigrant other than Lex hates him.
So, Superman, before the events of the movie, he gets wrapped up in this highly political event where one country is invading another country. Totally nothing like what happens in the real world right now. But basically what he did is he put a stop to it. He saw people were going to die, and he meddled in other countries' affairs, which has got a lot of people talking. Not always in the best of ways about him, but this ultimately culminates in a big conspiracy against him, as Lex Luthor plans to take him down, has him imprisoned, and does a whole bunch of stuff to him that ultimately leads to Superman trying to clear his name, as his name gets tarnished by Lex Luthor's plan, and also trying to save the world and all the crazy shit Lex does, trying to undo all that. That's effectively what the plot is. A little sloppily delivered, but that's what it is.
Yeah, basically. So okay, what do you think about this movie?
Overall, I really liked it a lot. I thought it was really fun. I thought I wasn't really confused at all because they were establishing a whole lot at once, but he went from thing to thing and it all felt very natural. It felt very well paced. That didn't really it really didn't bog down anything. I had a really good emotional core. I think that's really the movie really resonated the most with me. Was like I really got empathizing a lot with Superman. Like, man, he's really going through the shitter. Not even with just the beatdowns he gets sometimes, but mostly just like all the stress. Oh, he does, yeah. But at times it feels like he would almost rather have that than deal with the constant stress of everything that happens to him, of all the like his mental health is actually in question at certain points in this movie, and like, man, that's relatable to be like that stressed where you feel like you just crash out, and he doesn't because of course he's Superman. He has control over himself. That's not any doubt. But overall, I think this is a great characterization of Superman, what makes him special, and how he can inspire others without being overly preachy about it.
Well, he's a little preachy, but I mean that's
a little bit. But
part of who he
most
is, so
most Superman movies have gone a lot further, like being directly preachy. Well, here, like we see Superman inspiring others without him even having to interact with them directly, like with the refugees. But who are about to be gunned down by the forces. They were like holding up the Superman flag, and Superman wasn't even the one who came to save him, but like friends Superman made along the way, being the Justice Gang.
They were kind of reluctant to, but he said, "Fuck it."
Yeah, throughout the course of the movie, and most likely because of Mr. Terrific, they did get a little closer to Superman, and they were willing to help him out this case. Hey, we're going to show up for you. You're getting your upgrade.
Did it to piss off Green Lantern?
Well, no, that's why he went. That's why he went to go save Superman. Was to piss off Green Lantern.
But he ended up being involved because he realized that Lex was doing something really stupid.
Yeah.
Created a rift in space-time that would
Which,
swallow up the entire fucking planet.
yeah, honestly, I'm not even sure it would stop at the planet. Frankly, it might have. That might have even. It's a hole in the universe. That might have just ripped the universe apart.
But because the black hole, you said black holes wouldn't create that much of a massive effect.
Well, but I mean, yeah, but this is more than just a black hole. This is literally the fabric of reality splitting. There are black holes being made in there, but that wasn't just the whole thing. It was like we literally saw reality itself split in half.
Okay, so so my thoughts. I mean, I was very excited for this movie. I want it to be perfect because I think to begin this universe to really be successful, it has to be damn near perfect movie. Iron Man was a really good movie, and guess what? That created MCU. So I want this movie to be like the best Superman movie I've ever seen. But saying that, I don't think it's the best, but it's definitely up there. I think this movie does a lot of things right that other movies haven't done, but I think there's some other movies that does some things right that this movie hasn't done. Like, for example, Superman 1978 did a really good job with cinematic pacing. They really captured the life of Superman from his Kryptonian heritage that bleeds into his young days growing up on a farm as a teenager, figuring himself out in the world, and then becoming Superman, and then balancing his Superman life with his Clark Kent life and his relationship with Lois Lane and even villain stuff. But that's when the movie kind of falls apart, when Lex has this crazy plan and the really stupid final arc. So this movie definitely had better plot points, but I felt that captured like the lifestyle. I felt this movie feels like kind of a 2-part special event of a show that's been going on for a couple seasons already. Or if so, honestly feels like we're picking up like an episode of maybe an animated series or an episode of My New Adventures Superman, just with a little bit of James Gunn flair in it, like his flair for music and his flair for, overdrawn out comedy, even though it's somewhat toned down for this one, not much as it is in like the Peacemaker series, which was really, really bad.
Yeah, that was egregious.
Very egregious. So
that's probably the worst thing I've seen James Gunn
it's
make,
definitely
in my
toned
opinion.
down here, but with some genuine, funny moments, like when Clark and Lois is just having this emotional conversation with a whole giant fight with an interdimensional creature. Fight outside his fucking apartment.
Oh, it's just internet. It's just interdimensional imp. They can handle it.
Yeah, and honestly, Jesus Christ, I mean, that crib is very nice for some of the reporters out there.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles apartment is doing there as good as that. Like, dude has like ceiling to floor windows. Like, the fuck? What a view! Is Bruce Wayne subsidizing your lifestyle? I mean, does Superman pay well?
Maybe the DCU just has a much better economy than we do.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? What's going on here? What the fuck? Anyways, yeah. So it has genuine funny moments. It has and I'll say one thing too: the cast is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Corenswet,
I loved all of them.
Really works. The entire crew of Day Planet is all great. I even love Eve Tessmacher. She was good. Scott Asano was good. Rachel Brosnahan was very good.
Yeah.
Niggas Hoult to me was damn good, as in terms of performance wise. I thought he really brought a lot. He feels somewhat as an animated villain and a live action at the same time. He kind of takes elements of all the other Lex Luthors. He has some of the zany. He has some of the ridiculousness of Gene Hackman with some of the with the look and the intensity of Michael Rosenbaum. And he with a little bit of animated series for, like, of Lex as well as like his own twist on it. Like, I love the way he speaks and carries himself. I think he actually, at certain moments in that way, I feel he bodies like the cartoon or the comic Lex Luthor for sure.
He's a great Lex.
Yeah, he's good.
Very happy with him.
I was the best, but he's definitely up there for sure.
Yeah. I was also really happy with Edi as Mr. Terrific.
Yes, he is by far my favorite character in this fucking movie. He was awesome, dude.
You could literally make Mr. Terrific your next movie. I'd be there to watch it.
Yeah, with this movie, the next thing should be a Mr. Terrific movie because he's fucking kicks ass.
Yeah, he kind of steals the show here, look.
He literally does. He plays a big part in the outcome of this movie.
He does. Like, if it wasn't for him, this universe would be fun.
And he had a straight up Yondu moment in this fucking film.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, when he was using when he had this little montage, just like, yeah, when he used this little montage kicking ass, like, I was just thinking myself, this Yondu be like, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, because he's a smart one, but no, this T-Spears it put in work.
Yeah.
One thing about him, his whole style, look, and the way he spoke kind of gives off 70s Shaft or like 70s blaxploitation.
Yeah,
Not
like,
necessarily in actual like not actual like not like actual like way he
but like paying homage,
acts,
paying homage
but
to
he's
it.
paying homage kind of like in his style,
Yeah.
but not deliberately like in his actions and motives.
Yeah, it's
like he's not coming out slapping white people like, yo, fuck you, cracker. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he's like, nah. But
it's like, what if a blaxploitation character was really, really autistic?
yeah, something like that. Which is so cool. I thought he was really awesome. Definitely stole the show.
Yeah, I loved him.
Alan Tudyk always brings the thunder. He was really funny as Superman Robot with the deadpan timing.
Yeah. Poor Gary.
Eddie Carrigan did really good as Metamorpho. You know, he had not too much time.
Yeah, he had a couple scenes and he was good.
Yeah, so like performance wise, well directed, well acted. Everyone's great, and I'm excited to see the it forward. Projects. Oh, Hawk Girl 2, Guy Gardner Nathan was fun too. I really like Isabela Merced. I thought all of them worked, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought it all
I wasn't so sure as Nathan as Guy going into this, but seeing it, I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty fucking dope. Yeah. So going back, I just felt so like I don't know if it's necessarily if it's like a necessary detriment to the movie, but it didn't feel like an opening. It felt like you were already getting thrusted into a world that's already happening. Which is fine because that's how what the world is.
Yeah,
because,
the world's always happening.
Like, it's always happening. So we kind of throw it. So we're not beginning at the beginning of Clark's journey. We're beginning at a specific arc of Clark's journey. But he already came to terms with who he is. He already became Superman. He's ready in the world, saving people. And two of this, we already got that in other iterations from comics to cartoons to movies to anime movies. So we don't really need.
Yeah,
and a movie that happened less than 15 years ago. So we don't really need another one.
Man of Steel was only 12 years ago.
And it's still fresh in everyone's head. People still make comparisons to this day.
And people are still bitching and moaning about the Snyderverse. They won't let it die. And with that, the memories of the Snyderverse will not die either. But yeah, like I liked just getting into things. Like I thought it was really refreshing, just to not have to like go through the same old over and over again.
But to me, that raised some problems for me in the fact that, because we're in this world that's quite different. You know what I mean? It's a world where metahumans have existed for hundreds of years, and that kind of confuses certain aspects of the movie for me because a lot of what drives the main antagonist is actions. Lex, which is metahumans are a problem, Superman is a problem, and I need the government support so I can make him a public enemy and give me the clout to kill him. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's Lex's motivations. That's more the government's motivations. Because Lex's motivation is always his ego. Because it's Lex.
Well, Lex wants to kill Superman. That's literally what he wants to do.
Yeah. Because he wants to prove himself to be the best. Because he has a god complex and he views Superman as like a god, which is not a completely unreasonable way to view.
Well, sure, but there's a
Superman.
bunch of very powerful metahumans that exist right now.
Yeah, but Superman is the most powerful. He's the tip of the top. They established that in the opening.
Sure,
crawl.
but you have like Green Lantern, you have like other people that's like extremely powerful. But even with that, yes, but he wants to kill Superman, and the way he does it is that he needs to turn the government against him. So, and the government already has this view of metahumans. They view them as a threat, kind of like how mutants are viewed in X-Men as threats, and as threats to their way of life, and you need to remove them from the board. So my thing is like, what role do metahumans really play in this society? How integrated are they with humanity? Because they've been around for hundreds of years. They haven't just showed up. So that's not clear to me. And once I get that answer, it'll make a lot of the motives behind all the big a lot of the big events of this movie make sense for me. Yeah. So I do have some problems with that.
I suspect we'll be getting those answers in most likely The Authority, maybe some extra exposition in Sergeant Rock.
Well, until then, you have my final verdict on this movie, at least in terms of that. There's other things I don't like neither. I hate the expositionary dialogue in the first third of the movie. It really sat wrong with me. Wasn't necessary, and I'm not a big fan of the title openings with explaining it. I think a lot of what was said could have just been explained while the movie just went on, because even without me saying much, the way the world set up, being able to like gather that okay, they've been around for a while. Clark was facing this fucking robot that was kicking his ass. You know what I mean? All that would have been explained over time. And when Lois was freaking complaining about her relationship, that could have been established that her and Clark been dating for a while. Like, we don't need to see him when we first see him like, yo, we've been dating for 3 months. Like, who just says shit like that? And like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously she was there. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like they're talking to the audience. TV shows have a habit of doing that when they come back from a new season. Yeah. As a way to fill people up. And that's weak and cheap and like corny and lazy as shit. I'm not with it. I fucking hate it. And this movie had that quite a bit in the first third. I really didn't like it. But that's over nitpick. It doesn't over impact the my love for this movie. Well, I was strong. I really like this movie. I am happy about it. I think this does work, which is the most important thing. And I think it has a lot of exciting moments. And I think they overall get Superman right. So they did a lot of things right. This is the movie to open up right now. It just could have been better. And I would have done some things differently. And I just have a lot of critique. That's it. So it's not perfect, but it's a solid start. It's a solid start and a solid Superman movie. You know what I mean? And it did a lot of things well. You know what I mean? I think got all the important stuff well. They got the characters right, and they had a decent plot point.
Mm-hmm.
And
and
which is the
they
most
got
important thing.
And they got you excited to see more.
Exactly. So there was three. So they hit the 3 big notes. But it's not a perfect movie. But it's definitely not a perfect movie. This could have been one. What they could have done is just this was under 12. It's ridiculous. So it should have been like 2.5. If they could add that extra 20-30 minutes of just to flesh out the world some more characters, motivation. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, draw out the end a little bit. I think you could have had something really good and maybe give some more scenes balancing his work life, his Clark Kent life, and his Superman life. To see like how that comes together, because Spider-Man 2 was a big thing about that, but how Spider-Man actually balances being a superhero while being himself. And we only had like one scene with him as Clark Kent, and that was actually a very fun scene, and I would like to actually see more. You know what I mean? To see how they treat each other in the bullpen rather than how Clark and Lois treat each other outside of that. We got a glimpse of that, but there's a little more of that, because that's what Superman 1 did right. They balanced it pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Because it could have been more about Clark's life instead of having such an open world aspect to it. You know what I'm saying? Like we could be in this world where these characters exist, but we don't need emphasis on all these other characters if we just mainly want this to be about Superman. Because now that raises questions about like, okay, now that these characters are here, I want to know more about them. What makes them tick? You know what I'm saying? Because this is the first time we're seeing them, so it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I know we're not going to spoil them, but to me, I was like, I felt Guy Gardner was cut a little bit short. You know, I liked him. Same thing with Isabela Merced. The only one that really got his shine was Mr. Terrific. Yeah. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of let down, and it wasn't because they couldn't. Because they just didn't have the time for it. You know what I mean? And that's a problem. So.
Yeah, they didn't want to bog down their movie with too much stuff. So they're like,
I don't think I would have bogged the movie.
We'll give you a tease. We'll be seeing more of these characters later.
I don't think that bogged down the movie because I felt they played.
I know. I'm not saying it did. I'm saying it could have, but too much of it.
The thing is, the more would have been great. Because the thing is, they played a part in the plot of the film. It wasn't just extended characters. They were essentially they were actual regulars in this movie. They played a part in the overall premise and the overall outcome. You know what I mean? Because they played a part in helping save the world. So it isn't like they're just like these extra characters. They're just there. You know, they're part of the narrative. And what I did like is it also made the Daily Planet a real. I love how they were used. They're like almost a little team of their own, trying to save Superman and then also use the press to try to save Superman's reputation, because a big part of this movie was that Superman's rep was destroyed. You know what I mean, by Lex and the government. So that is a great use of the impact that they can have. And Jimmy also had the whole arc too, because he's apparently a Mac and he gets a lot of girls. And then
because Timmy Olsen, that's part of his character.
Honestly, I never see iteration of him, but honestly, I'm not too in tune with him in the comics. So
it happens a lot in the comics. Okay. Like a lot. It's a running gag with him.
Actually, yeah, he's kind of like how Will Ferrell is. Will Ferrell, like, you don't understand why, but a lot of girls want to fuck him.
Yeah, even weird alien bug ladies.
And I know with Supergirl in it, I know they have every crush on each other.
Well, yeah, but that's a very different. That's a very different form of Jimmy. That's a very different Jimmy.
It's like a nerdy version. This is the Mac version of him, right? But then he's still the nerd version, just that he just all girls like him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's still a dork. He just girls like him. You know what I mean? Like I'm assuming it's not necessarily because of him. It's more because I guess he's a young ass reporter who works with Lois Lane and takes cool dope photos of Superman. So that makes sense to why girls are like, oh my god, he's lit. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
This is a myth that you don't know. You don't know. People,
is he packing a 10-inch? That goes in what?
I mean, if that's the case, it's not confirmed. At least not to my knowledge.
So girls will him just cause.
Yeah, Jimmy's just a likable dude.
I think my reasons were way more plausible.
Well, your reason's also spinning the face of
if I'm like a 20-something
decades of comic history.
So what? If I mean, shit, Zack Snyder did it. A lot of people do it.
Yeah, and Zack Snyder's movies are shit.
Not all of them, but like a 20-something-year-old who is like a hit reporter at one of the biggest papers in the world, who takes photos of the most famous person on the planet, and works with the most successful reporter. I mean, if I was a young girl working there, I'll be on his dick. You know, I'd be like, no homo. Like, you know, I'd be like, yo, like he's lit. You know what I'm saying? So that actually makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Like that justifies a lot of it. To get like the kind of attention was like, this is kind of weird. You know? Well, if it was to make a running gag, sure, fucking.
Even then, it doesn't explain the alien girls.
Well, we haven't got to that part yet.
Not yet, but it's Jimmy. So there's always two things they do with Jimmy. They always give him an alien girl, and they always give him powers at one point just to take it away from him.
Well, if you do that, then I'll love to see more of him. Because all these characters I would love to see more of, which is like the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all of them.
This is a setup movie, straight up. It is no ifs, ands, or on about it. So that does take away from the movie in itself. He tries to say that it's a one-off movie. It is not a one-off movie. This movie sets up the next movie immediately. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It sets up a lot of different movies.
It does.
You know, which it has to the choice. And that could easily get lost in that and make it a bad movie. Yeah. So I feel with everything that James Gunn had going for him, that he had to do was make a movie that stands on its own while not going too much into its origin, because all that shit's been done. So he has to take certain specific stories about it and make it work. So he's very handicapped on top of establishing a whole new universe. To me, is like, I think he did the best he can do. I think he did a really solid job with everything going against him.
Exactly. Like, I wasn't like super enthused about the universe going in. I wasn't really I was like, I'll see Superman when it comes out. We'll see. But now Superman not only exceeded my expectations, but got me excited to see more and more movies, especially Supergirl. Given how Superman ends, introducing her, I'm like, okay, now she's a hot mess. I want to see why she's a hot mess. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of trauma dumping about Krypton and its destruction.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing. Because it takes place for Women of Tomorrow. And that's the whole thing about her in Women of Tomorrow, is that she's still reeling from the loss of her home, of her planet.
Yeah, because
everyone she knows is dead.
That shit.
Exactly, because she actually lived on Krypton, unlike Clark. You know what I mean? So, which makes some sense. Imagine you wake up one day out of a coma and like everything you know is gone and dead.
Yeah,
like,
and your infant cousin's actually older than you now.
Yeah, like, that's kind of fucked. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I mean? Crypto also was really dope in this.
I thought they overused Crypto a little bit, but I did like most of what Crypto had.
Yeah, I mean, maybe used, but I think he fitted pretty well. You know what I mean? As someone that is a Ron.
He didn't feel forced, and that's what I appreciate about him.
Exactly. You know what I mean? He played a part in the cause and effects of the stories pretty well, without feeling like you just tacked on.
He was crucial to the climax.
Like, he took a lot of different things, and because this book could easily been a bloated mess, but he took a lot of these different elements and made it work together with each other.
I'd say it's well balanced.
They fed over each other's well balanced, but with doing that, takes away from making it a full-on Superman movie, because you have all these other characters. So that's a big of the problem. If he wanted to really make a Superman movie about Superman, he should have peeled all the other shit off and zoned in on him. You know what I mean? But they did one thing right, is that they discussed his humanity. Yeah. Not really what drives him, but the humanity he already has.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And honestly, like, even though I think they did a very good job telling a Superman story. I was really, like, the emotional core of the Superman's journey. That was, like, my favorite part of the movie.
If we have other Superman material to go off of, I would have been like, what gave him the sense of righteousness? You know what I'm saying? Like how does he earn it? And the best way to do that was to see how he was growing up. But, of course, they've already done things like that, so it was like, you don't want to see it again. You know what I mean? So that takes away from character growth. So he kind
of already get the implication,
because he doesn't really
don't really say it straight up. I mean,
he can't really grow much, because he already has this mentality that pretty much the whole thing is about him staying the way he is. You know what I'm saying? Keeping the path. You know what I'm saying? The only real thing that happened was that he realized that his parents had different intentions for him.
Yeah, It caused a big moment of death for him, and he kind
barely, but it doesn't really affect too much of what he does. He doesn't go on like a whole meltdown. He has like a brief moment, and that's pretty much it. And he has a conversation with his parents, and that's all better. You know what I'm saying? That it should have had more of a reputable effect on everything that he holds, every value that he ever had.
Honestly, I think they did a good job with that. I don't think they went after too much.
It wasn't bad. They could have done a lot more with it. You know what I mean? And I think naturally was something that tremendous because he based his whole entire life off of what he thought his parents' message was. Yeah. So since you got world-shattering news, it will have a little bit more of an effect on you. You know what I mean?
And I feel like it did, though. I feel like that really resonated.
It didn't really do much with him, though. How did it really change him?
It built on, it added on to the constant pile of stress he was getting. It really, that's that's a massive part of this movie, I feel. And then when it all eventually blows off at the end, I'm like, I think it works really good.
But how does it blow off? What happened that made
what happened is that he fucking reevaluated his priorities in life.
His priorities are the same. Though.
He held his birth parents on this impossibly high pedestal, yes. and he made peace with the fact that they're not on that pedestal, but also that he has parents that absolutely should be on that pedestal, being the Kents, because he was dodging calls to them earlier. He wasn't talking to them as actively, and I think that's going to be a big change we see with him going forward. Is that he's going to be more active in their lives now, or at the very least, there won't be as many missed calls from Mom and Pa going forward.
Was it missed calls? I mean, he was kind of.
There was missed calls. There was 22 missed calls from Mom and Pa, man.
All right, that's fair. I mean, still though, I felt like it'll have a little bit more of an impact on him, and he'll definitely be investigating Krypton now to see what his people's really about. Are they just another Viltrum Empire?
I mean, admittedly, there's not a lot for him to look for.
There's an information hub, though.
Krypton's gone, but again,
he has Kara, and he lives in information hub, and there's other aliens in the cosmos that probably knew about the Kryptonians.
Again, where are the odds you're going to find a random alien that knew about the Kryptonians?
I mean,
space is massive, dude.
If Kara could party, I assumed he has technology to get to those planets because Kara was on other planets partying. So I mean, it's possible.
But again, we don't know for a fact if any of those aliens have known what Kryptonians were.
But we don't know that they don't.
Partying. No, we don't.
We have to. So to me, that should be explained.
I mean, I don't think.
My whole thing is that I will be skeptical and I will want to investigate. You know what I mean? In the way I can. I mean, he lives in a fucking information. He lives in a Clark,
I would be asking Kara a lot of questions.
I'll be asking Kara. I'll be trying to talk to the Superman robots. I'll be trying to look through my Fortress of Solitude.
I'm pretty sure the Superman robots said they don't really know that much. I'm pretty sure they said that already.
Even so, the Fortress of Solitude is information. They should have information better than the crystals about his history. That's the whole point of Fortress of Solitude. It contains the history of his fucking people. So I mean, I'll be looking through that. I'll be questioning Kara. I'll be trying to grill about any other alien species that know about them.
Yeah, but given the vastness of space, there's so many alien species. How many of them are even going to know? I
assume Kara would know them because Kara parties with fucking aliens on Red Suns. So
Kara knows aliens, but is she specifically hanging out with aliens that know Kryptonians?
We don't fucking know. I assume she would be.
Why?
Because Krypton is not like Earth. They actually are explorers.
But here's the thing. First of all, you're vastly underestimating how big space is. Space is absurdly massive.
I know, but I assume I assume they have ships.
Secondly, if the Kryptonians are just like Viltrumites, like we're led to believe, then why would Kara want to party with people who know who she is on planets she doesn't know?
I don't know, but the point is that
it make more sense.
She would talk about anything.
If anything, he's kind of moves on. I'm speculating that she parties on planets that are even further away from Krypton that don't know anything about it.
Well, that should be explained.
Again, as I said, I'm speculating that, but that would make sense.
And so the point of respecting that is what's the problem? Because to me it's not. To me, I think he brushes off kind of normally.
Even then,
I'll be very skeptical about everything.
Even then, I think you're jumping the gun here, assuming that all Kryptonians would have been like that. Again,
but we don't know.
We don't know. You're right.
My dad, I thought was good, was an asshole.
Why did you even press that?
Whatever. If I knew that my dad was actually an asshole, I'd be questioning my entire fucking species.
Yeah, but again, one scientist who very clearly wants Clark to practice eugenics does not mean the whole species is like that.
But it doesn't. But Clark doesn't know that. As far as he knows, what if more like that? What if that's their mission? I don't know. You know what I mean? The point is that I need to know these things. I'm not cool with not knowing.
Yeah, this could be a standard thing, though, Kryptonians do in his eyes, or this could be a one-off because the species was literally dying. Clark has no way of knowing.
And Clark needs to find out. I'll at least
And
have shown curiosity in knowing.
And the best way for Clark to find out would be to ask Kara when she's sober.
Well, he didn't.
If only she would sober the fuck up and not party.
Even though Clark, when he saw it, that is far from the things he was thinking about. He's treated like, oh, my cousin. Hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? Like, my first thing was like, yo, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck was my dad really? That would be I'll be immediately skeptical. I wouldn't be looking at her happy at all. I'll be like, at least like a moment where he's like scowling at her, like with any kind of hint of hesitance, not just like immediate acceptance.
I wouldn't say it's acceptance.
That's how it came off to me.
To me, it came off like he was annoyed. He's wanted her to leave already. Because he's like, oh, he's here for the dog.
Drunk.
Yeah, because she's always drunk. At least that's the implication that she's always drunk. Because they do imply that in the movie.
So she lost Krypton.
Yeah, it's understandable why she is that way. I'm not saying that's a criticism of the writing that she is that way. That just makes me excited for her movie.
My overall point is that they do nothing to explain that at all. It feels like he gets over it. That's what I get. Because if he wasn't over it, he'll be questioning. The last thing should have been maybe him researching, trying to find information in the Fortress of Solitude about Krypton. You know what I mean? And what exactly it meant. Try to piece together some kind of investigation. You know what I'm saying? And then Kara comes in, and maybe he's like, yo, what the hell's going on? And then she's too drunk to answer. Mm-hmm. Or maybe she drunkenly confesses, that's what we did. Boom. You know what I mean? That would have pieced together things nicely for me. They didn't do none of that. It's a regular one-off scene. She's drunk. Okay, normal thing, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah. And and that's what got me excited for Supergirl. Because I feel like all those questions are going to be answered there,
But
honestly.
the thing is, it will start now. Like, I wouldn't just put it in the background. It will start at this. It will start at this moment. I'll immediately the scene should be fucking Clark pulling investigations. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I found everything I knew was a fucking lie, dude, I'm gonna be immediately questioning everything. Like, he put his whole career on this message, on what he thought his people were. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's not something you just get over. Yeah. I'm sorry, no.
And again, I think that is going to be playing a bigger part in his characterization once we see more Kryptonians.
Fine, but the skepticism should start now. That's what I'm saying. And then no way showed me any indicator that he was skeptical. It sounded like he just moved on.
Yeah, because in his perspective, Kryptonians are mostly fucking dead.
Fine,
there's
even
nothing to do about it.
We told him this information is out that still exists with them out there. Their name still rings bells within the college at some point. I would at least try. I wouldn't just accept whatever. And if so, at least show that that's what you think about it. Mm-hmm. The way that they gave us no hints at all, that's the problem. And then you're speculating and I'm speculating.
Yeah.
Says, we're doing so. That's the problem. We should be speculating. We should have some concrete data on any intentions.
And I'm sure we will in the future. Intentions. We're still in the phase 1.
We should not be assuming
phase
shit
1
at this
just
point.
started. I'm trying not to assume shit, but you keep asking questions that I'm pretty sure will be answered later.
Good questions.
So instead of asking,
but good questions are relevant now.
Waiting,
but it's good questions relevant now because he's being very vague about problems that he's bringing up now.
Yeah, and questions I'm sure will be answered in the next fucking movie. He just
found out everything's a fucking lie, and everything that was shown is that he's getting over it. There's nothing that indicates he's skeptical. Nothing. It only has shown that he's moving on about it.
What would skepticism do for him?
It is a normal reaction when you found everything you know was a fucking lie. No one's gonna move on from that. No one.
Yeah, he knows everything's a lie, and he doesn't play the message of his fucking parents, of his birth parents
anymore. That shows that he's accepted his birth parents. That's cool. That's sweet and all. But I'm still in the Fortress Solitude around these Superman robots. I'll be fucking skeptical. I would like to know what the hell is going on. That's just a normal to me. That's just a normal reaction, and that could lead to potential good fucking stories. That can maybe potentially lead to discovery of Brainiac. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Who the fuck knows? Maybe he realized that Lex maybe doctored some bullshit, and maybe there's more to the message. Who knows? Nothing. It seems like he just accepted it. That's what it comes up. It gave no indicator. They don't have to do the whole thing. They can at least show that he's maybe in the fucking Kryptonian libraries looking up shit, trying to read up on Krypton. You know what I mean? Or when he sees Kara, he's immediately skeptical.
I'm pretty sure he said that
the only easily done that.
I'm pretty sure he said the only thing he had of his home was the message from his parents.
Well, that's dumb because the whole point of Fortress of Solitude is that his whole information about his homeworld. That's how he learns about Krypton.
Yeah, and he learned it from here at least it's that he learned it from his parents. That's all he knows about Krypton. He doesn't seem like he knows very much.
Yeah, exactly. So he only going for one fucking message that don't. No, so essentially he knows nothing about his homeworld. Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fine. But even so, he predicated his entire lifestyle on that. So it's like, I'm not getting over that just like that. No fucking way. It should have been a whole arc. Because Smallville, it was like he went through whole fucking changes. You know what I mean? Around what his father went to be and what his Earth parents went to be. You know what I'm saying? Obviously,
Smallville was also hundreds of hours long.
Obviously, I'm not saying that they should copy the same exact thing, but the point is that it's something that he's just not gonna get over quickly. It's gonna affect him and change him for a while. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Maybe they could begin a process that maybe gets resolved in other films. Maybe he left it not that happy. Maybe he leaves the film kind of fucked up and angry. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to end it on a high note. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I felt you trying to end on a high note, which it didn't. To me, it wasn't earned. You know what I'm saying? For that, that's how I feel about it. And I think I'm right. I'm sorry. Like, that's how I feel about it from that perspective. Yeah. So my whole thing, I have a lot of critiques about this movie. But I also like this movie. So I think the movie is exciting. I think the movie has a lot of good moments, has a lot of cool characters, and it excites me for other things to come. So everything I'm saying doesn't necessarily deter this from being a solid movie. It's just a lot of critiques I have that could have made it so even better. You know what I'm saying? Personally. Because the movie's out in 58 minutes. They could have easily added more time and made this a real solid fucking work and got it into the high 90s. You know, who knows? Because movies that open up the universe, for example, like Iron Man, had qualities that this movie didn't have. You know what I'm saying? But this movie does have a handicap because they kind of have to start from a middle place. You know what I'm saying? So, the way I feel, so that's kind of how I feel about it. Still excited for all the cast. I'm excited for Corenswet and the rest of the crew. I think they all killed it. And James Gunn did a solid job. It does feel like Guardians of the Galaxy a bit, but you know what I mean, it still also feels like a DC universe as well. A little more jokes that I would like, but overall it's still a fun, lighthearted thing, but it still shows a tremendous knowledge of the world. It still manages a solid open world concept. Still a lot of questions to be answered. Hopefully we get those explored in other movies. So that's also where the excitement and anticipation comes from. So I think Superman did its job for the most part. So kudos to that. My score for this movie would be like an 86.
I'm giving it a 90.
Okay.
All right. In that case, if you've already seen Superman, then let us know about it down in the comments below. What's your favorite Superman movie? We'll be very happy to hear about that. And of course, if you haven't seen it already, then what are you doing here? Just go see the movie. Always support movies you like in the local movie theater.
If you want this whole industry to be saved, you should watch this movie. The success of this movie will dictate the outcome if they make the others, and it will lead to a whole bunch of other huge movies, and then it will give Warner Brothers the opportunity to stake on mid-budget movies with more original concepts.
Yeah.
Yep.
We went through all this in our most recent podcast, so Superman's most horror movie of the decade. Yeah. Absolutely watch that. And that being said, hit the like, subscribe button. We'll catch you next time.
Well, I'm not done yet. I also my Letterboxd is Thai 1997 should be here.
Yeah, it will be. I'll put the link in either the description or the comments, whether it allows me to do it.
Check that out. I wrote a pretty extensive review, so we hear more of my thoughts on this movie. Definitely check that out. If we wasn't satisfied enough with her. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this movie. Like it, you hate it. The woke stuff, stop the bullshit. I'm gonna address a few things. The woke shit, stop it. If you want to, no, it does not. It talks about Ukraine, you know what I mean, and the whole Hamas thing, you know what I mean. So with the whole Baravian thing. So and it was made around the time those things were kind of even more fresh. So if you want to talk political, that's where it really tackles in. Immigrant stuff, that's not really a thing here. And if it did address it, it's relevant and it matters. So what? Superman is technically, is a fucking immigrant. So
yeah, he is an illegal alien in all senses of the term.
Yes. So it makes sense. So fuck off, you right wingers. You're annoying. And also with Superman, yes, he gets beat up quite a bit in this movie. If you don't, then you don't really understand Superman. It wasn't because he's necessarily weak. It's also because he's purposely holding back because he doesn't want to resolve everything and just beating people up. Like the motherfucker says a squirrel in this goddamn movie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He questions, and that's easy from the best parts of the movie. Where he questions Guy Gardner for how he tried to kill the kaiju. You know what I'm saying? Because they're more brutal than he is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, no, we don't have to solve conflicts this way. You know what I mean? And also there's a problem with how he handled the Baravian government. And the president. You know what I'm saying? Abuse of power. And these are things that the film actually discusses. Low service level, but, it brings these realistic topics up. And they try to say that, there are actual consequences for his actions here.
Yeah.
And social media also played a vital part in this movie as well, with how you can tear someone up and how misinformation can spread and be manipulated. You know what I mean? Which what The Boys is all about. So it tackled a lot of things, and I think with a lot of things they didn't necessarily get to focus on one main thing, which is a problem. But overall, the things that they did focus on was handled pretty well.
Yeah.
So it's a jumble movie that was actually handled pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my final take on it. Yeah. See Superman in theaters, please. Keep supporting it. See more than once if you have to. Let's get this movie to 1 billion. I would like that. That will mark a turning point in this business.
Yeah. Anyways, hit the like, subscribe button. We'll see you next time.
Later.